Welcome to Table Ladders and Bumps, a show about wrestling. And I'm here with Thomas, Marlon, on Ringside P. We're going to give you a quick Raw review. We're going to go into our segment called the 3 Count. Then we're going to have No Hate, Just Debates, which is a segment about us just kind of picking a hot topic and kind of going back and forth on it. Kind of like a PTL type of deal, but it's all fun. You know, we're trying to have a good time with you guys. So before we get started, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, comment, give us feedback. Check us out on YouTube, on IG. IG is up and going right now. We try to cover everything, man. We inclusive with everything wrestling, WWE, AEW, some indie stuff, you know, all the good stuff out there. So let's get started with our Raw review. You guys ready?
Oh yeah,
I'm ready.
So Marlon, you want to kick off with the Raw review?
Yeah, let's go. I want to talk about someone who's been so crucial to the Raw brand and the WWE brand in general, Becky Lynch. You know, Becky Lynch. Am I glitching right now?
yeah.
A little bit.
Just so you know, I have FiOS coming in on Friday to
Okay,
install.
cool.
They're coming. So this will be the last of it, unless you want me to switch to my phone.
If you
So
notice
Becky
Marlon
Lynch
glitching,
has
comment at the timestamp. We could get some engagement that way to haze him. But yeah.
I'm just gonna keep saying the name then. Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch. I was honestly, they were talking about her contract not being renewed. They were talking about her possibly being not a part of WWE moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So although I'm taking refuge in the fact when she said on Ariel Helwani's show that she's not going to go anywhere outside of WWE, that's like the only pearl that I'm resting my laurels on. It's like she's not leaving. She's a company person for WWE, her and Seth at this point. So I will say that this being her last Raw for a while, and her saying some sentimental slash motivational things to Lyra the last couple of weeks as if she's passing the torch to her. I will say that I felt sad when she finished her match. And it was a hell of a match with Liv in the steel cage. But yeah, what do you guys think about Becky Lynch's latest run? And you can even date it back all the way from WrestleMania, no, SummerSlam, when Damage Control came in and became rival, right? And Becky kind of turned face at that time because when she came her last comeback, it was as a heel. So what do you guys think of Becky Lynch's last run, if you want to date it back to SummerSlam, all the way up until now, or even this year?
Yeah, I'll go. No, this run for the most part has been pretty amazing. Her in-ring has been great. The low point, which also had a high point, and part of it was the Trish Stratus feud, in my opinion. It just
Yeah.
went way too long.
Yeah.
But that cage match was sick.
Yes.
It's honestly one of my favorite cage matches in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an awesome cage match.
Yeah.
But and honestly, her stuff in NXT with Tiffany Stratton was great. But yeah, no, I think this run has been really good. She deserves a break. Um, I'll let Pierre go his opinions on her run, and then I have some stuff on. I mean, if she jumps somewhere else, my opinions of it. But
Okay.
yeah, Pierre, what do you think about her run?
Man, I enjoyed her run, man. Like, hopefully this isn't the last run we see of Becky Lynch in WWE. Um, I think she did what she was supposed to do as a top tier talent. Like,
Yes.
not only did she carry the women's division at a time, she also helped elevate the women's division. Um, Even like just all across the board. Like went down to NXT, carrying the NXT championship, giving those women opportunity even to come up to the main roster and interact on the main rosters that they can allow fans like myself who might not always see these women wrestlers perform, to get to see them on the main roster. You know, like I really didn't know about Tiffany Stratton until like I heard like her and like Becky Lynch, you know, fighting. And then like my first like knowing of Lyra Valkyria was because of Becky Lynch. It was like this
Mhm.
person beat Becky Lynch. Like, who is this person? You know, so like that's cool in
Mhm.
itself. Like, I know there was a big joke about her being Becky Hogan, but that's complete opposite. Like she came in and she
Yeah.
made the division. You know, even when after WrestleMania, like we all knew that she went on the vacation, and though she'd be off for a minute, but she came back and it was like, all right, for the
Mhm.
business, I'm back. You know, to help
Mhm.
pass the torch of kind of carry this storyline over to the next person for the time being because the main person is hurt. So props to Becky Lynch, man. So
Mhm.
wish her the best, and I hope she doesn't go anywhere else because I can't say that I will watch her on AEW, not because I have anything against AEW. It's just that, like I always said before, it's too much wrestling in a week for me. So it's like I'm so used to
Mhm.
watching WWE programming and whatnot, and it's just like I say, nothing against AEW, just that this is what I have time in my life for in my schedule is WWE for the most part. So that's what I got.
Right.
Uh, so for me, I think the best thing for wrestling is for her to leave WWE and go to AEW.
Mm.
Like we
Wow.
got like the roster, WWE's roster is sick for women, and honestly, AEW's is pretty good too. But
Right.
um, it's so deep. Even in NXT, you got. I mean, um, I was just talking to you guys off air that um Roxanne Perez is going against Jordan Grace from
Yeah.
TNA.
Yeah.
Like so they're doing big stuff even in NXT for the women's division. I like Becky's great and she has a positive influence on everyone. She's willing to do stuff a lot of other women, i.e. Charlotte Flair, aren't willing to do. But you still have Bailey who kind of plays that same role as player coach on the roster that is selfless. And I mean Bailey like lost every match for like almost a whole year. And
Mhm.
so I think the positive she gives AEW, like in how much it adds to AEW, is way more than for WWE, just because of how much she's already done that in WWE, like built it up in a way that main event, WrestleMania, all this stuff. There's still a lot of work to be done in AEW, which I'll get into some of that. But yeah, Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, is doing some work over there in her first match. So, yeah, I think it would just for wrestling as a whole, it would be a lot better if she went over there. TNA would have almost no effect because she's a needle mover, but not enough people are. It's so hard to watch. I don't even know how to watch TNA. Like it's not
Mhm.
on a channel really. Like I'll find like sometimes I'll see it like I
Yeah.
like Sling and I'm like, oh, I guess the TNA thing's on here. Well, I don't know what channel it's on or anything. So yeah, it's like go to clips of TNA, but AEW actually has a big force. WWE people hate on it, but it's like a legit competitor that'll never beat WWE, but
Right.
it's and that makes WWE better the better AEW is too. So
Of
that's my
course.
other thing.
I get
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no, that's a good take, man. It would be better for wrestling. I think we all agree that she needs to go away for the better of the business, just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, for her, for us, create a gap, create a distance so that we miss her. Um, and I think that that would be great. Man, if she went to AEW, there would be so many WWE marks who would freaking lose it.
oh, I'd
Not
be so mad. So
yeah,
there's people who are always mad and think AEW sucks just because it competes with WWE. It's like
right.
you can like both. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You don't have to
absolutely.
like hate
And
hate
that's my
one.
3 count. That's my 3 count for this week too. So my Raw review, man, it's just thank you so much for Becky Lynch for putting it all out there to the very end of, carrying your corporate duties of managing the belt and trying to put Liv over in between, and Lyra at the same time. So yeah, that's my Raw review. Um, Wade, what do you got?
For me, really the Judgment Day weird story that's just like I like Judgment Day. I've not been super into them. Or I mean I've been like, what the heck is this story other than the Live stuff that we've been kind of waiting for. We've seen it going on in the background, but we haven't. Now they're actually pulling the veil back, because we would just see her like backstage with people and it's like, oh, they want us to see that, but no one said anything about it. Now it's like you have Priest who goes up to JD and is like, hey, I saw you looking at Liv. But while he's saying that, he's staring right at Finn, who they had that images of her leaving Finn's car and stuff. So like, but Finn didn't even realize what was going on when Priest did that. So there's like a lot of like pretty good storytelling. The Carlito part, not super into. I just not into Carlito, like, to be honest. But like,
Because you're
I
like
don't need to
apples, man. That's
see.
what it is.
Yeah, like I don't need to see Carlito and Ray wrestle for the 1,000th time on freaking TV. Each of them with like half of their athleticism. Ray's still good, but it's like you move
Yeah.
half of Carlito's speed and stuff, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant to watch. So, but yeah, all that story is like kind of interesting, and just seeing Priest is like, what is like, I'm with the Goon Squad right now.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have the same thing going on with Gable, like, because those are goofballs, but this is just like legit numbskulls who like constantly own goal themselves, everything with Dom and Liv. And then you have the whole Liv, you mean, I was almost gonna put this as my Raw thing, is the them failing to actually have the kiss from Liv Morgan on Dom on TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you mess that up?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like literally we've been waiting for this moment since like Rhea got taken out.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't do an overrun of 1 minute on USA.
Right.
What were they gonna show Shawshank Redemption for the 500th time? Like, I'm sure they let you overrun a minute, dude. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
It was the Race for New Zealand show was going on afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like this is on Fox, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where it's like
The news is
you could
next or something like that.
USA, you could go over.
Yeah.
So but I'm liking the story, and just seeing Priest just being annoyed with everything. He's like, dude, these guys suck. And you can totally see why he wants to be babyface. And like, I like Finn a lot, but he gets wrecked by like Ray outside of the ring, and then Priest just comes
No
in and
reason.
like wrecks shop, and he's like, what the heck are you? How did you just get wrecked by 80-year-old Rey Mysterio, dude? So yeah, I'm liking this for the most part, especially the Liv stuff, but just seeing everything that's going on with Priest, and you can kind of, the babyface turn is making more sense just because of how idiotic these guys are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you get JD running like a freaking fool from Braun Strowman for a whole episode. So it's stupid. It fits Judgment Day because they're idiots. They've been idiots the whole time. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great way for Judgment Day to end, from some hot chick stealing the biggest idiot ever from Rhea Ripley. So
This
yeah,
is so
I'm
good. This is like better than like any TV drama. I've been saying it, man. Like the storyline is so soapy, soap opera. I love it. What do you think, Pierre?
No, man, it is entertaining. Like, I'm happy that they got to this point, and like I say, it was a big drop of the ball of them not being able to run over time is to show the kiss. Like I didn't even know I didn't know the kiss happened to the next day because once the Raw was over, I went to sleep. So I didn't get on my phone. So I didn't know nothing happened. I turned my phone on like, what? When does this happen? What is this kiss they talking about? Like the show ended with them like Liv kind of looking at him like weird, and I thought they just walk off or whatever. So that was crazy. I do hate that Judgment Day has become like complete goofballs, like
Yeah.
completely goof. Like I think that like, and it's like yo, like why can't them? How come the Judgment Day can't just be? They don't gotta be completely dominant, but they ain't gotta be idiots. Like you got JD losing matches constantly, like Finn
Yeah.
Balor, who it should be A-level talent, is just in like some kind of like goofy role too. Like you say
He plays it good though.
Mhm.
laid out. He was just laid out the whole entire time. And it's like, yo, you're Finn Balor. Get up. You took 14 staples in the head. You can get up from Rey Mysterio. So I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Like the storyline is soapy. It is entertaining at times, but I want more for the Judgment Day. I don't know how the babyface run is gonna go for Priest, but I do see it coming. I do think it's necessary for him.
I think because Judgment Day was gonna end once Priest got
Yeah,
the and here's my thing, like Finn plays that role of also an idiot, but like is competent, like pretty well. But when you have 50% of your team with Rhea Ripley gone is actual idiots, I mean it's gonna be like clown show. Like what's
it's like Three Stooges.
yeah, I mean, you got Dom, who's like legit a doofagoo, and then you got JD, who's brought there, and they talk about his bobblehead the whole time, anytime he wrestles. So I'm like, I love Judgment Day, and that all last year on Raw, where I mean, I think there are like interferences and all of that stuff was done like in the best ways because it was just like annoying. Even it was still Stooges and they were still idiots when like Priest is throwing the thing to Finn and it goes like under Finn's
Yeah,
legs and then he gets curb stomped on it. And it's just like the whole time they've been idiots. It's just now it's really imploding. And I think in order for Priest to leave, you kind of need them to look super incompetent.
mhm.
Otherwise, if he just leaves, it's like him turning on his friends and like, what kind of baby face is that? But if he's
Yeah.
like constantly like, what the hell is wrong with these fools? It is kind of justified, but I get what you're saying because it was a cool group, but and now they're idiots. So um no, I mean you're justified in that opinion for sure, but I think it's the only way to go about this.
Do you think they jump him out? They turn on him?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they turn on him,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's probably going to be because of Carlito or something or Liv.
Mm, mm.
So it's going to be one of those. They have two, like, you mean viruses kind of infiltrating, and Priest
Yeah.
is the only one not being affected by either one. Like Priest is
It's
Yeah.
like
true.
Carlito, yeah, go out and win your match, dude. You got to wrestle Rey Mysterio, who's 80 years old. So, and then with like Liv, he's like, what is like? I don't think Liv has even attempted to talk to Priest because she knows he'd be like, get the
Yeah.
hell out of here.
Right.
So everyone else is like kind of weak minded, is what
Yeah.
they're alluding to. So, um, yeah, but there's two viruses in their thing, so they're gonna
Yeah.
be eaten from the inside.
Pierre, what you got for the Raw review?
For me, I'm gonna go with Chad Gable, aka Joe Jackson. Putting out the belt. She's Otis to send the high notes properly. Um, no man, I am Master Gable was master in a different way in Monday night. I'm like, is this what we doing on Monday Night Raw? Who was that? Pat McAfee was like, we haven't did this in 30 years. I'm like, 30 years? It's been longer than that, Pat. Like this isn't roots out here, Pat, man. We can't be whipping people on TV, dude. But I love to see the turmoil that Otis is going through. Like he just
Yeah.
doesn't know what to do. And then he's just struggling with the idea of like turning on Gable, but listening to the fans, trying to listen to Sammy, trying to listen to Gable who's in his ear, and he just doesn't know what to do. Poor Tozawa out there, he's just lost. He has no point anymore.
Yeah.
Maxine Dupree, she's hurt, brokenhearted also as well. I don't know you guys also this video. It was like these two dudes sitting at the bar, and this one dude got hit with a chair, and then he started rubbing like the other dude's like chest all like crazy. That was
I never see that.
The heck?
so like I'm watching like Tozawa and Otis in the ring, and Tozawa goes to like console Otis, and he's just kind of just caressing him, and it's like they don't know what to say or do anything like that, but he's just like, "Come on, Otis, we gotta go," But I mean, I'm liking what Chad Gable was doing. I know that it's gonna be him and Sammy at hopefully Clash of the Castle. And I would like Chad Gable to win a championship. I think it's long overdue. Uh, they talk a lot about JD, the size of JD's head, but Chad Gable got a dome on him too as well.
Yeah.
I know you guys ever saw it, but I like this character, man. Like I just want him to lean into it even more so. Like I said before, like he got in the face of Maxine Dupree. Man, go into like you just suck, and the fans boo you because you're terrible and you shouldn't be a part of Afro Academy. Like they mentioned it too before, over in Jeddah. It was like, man, she flew all the way to Jeddah just to not come out to the match.
So good.
Like that crazy like that. Like I like that for Chad
Yeah.
Gable. Like if you're gonna be a heel, be nasty with it, dude. Like so that's kind of my highlight from Raw, which is Master Gable in full effect.
So I don't know if this is like I don't know if there's a white cultural thing, if that exists or not, but I do know, like for my parents, because when he said 30 years, I was like, it's for like 50 years, because I know my parents used to get like smacked by their parents, and they'd be like, it's gonna hurt you a lot more than it's gonna hurt me. That's like a super
yeah.
popular like
yeah.
thing that like my parents would be like, I never said that to you, because my parents said it to me every time they beat the crap out of me. So, but man, he's played that. I thought this was one of the better episodes for him being, the bad guy. Other than like him slapping Otis like the first time had a lot of weight to it, but this was like really ridiculous where he's just like, all right, grab the rope and bend like it's just so demoralizing. And the fact that the Creeds also lost this week, so that they're like, it just everything's set up for them to beat the hell out of. The one I'm the most excited for is seeing Ivy Nile beat the crap out of Maxine, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Because I'm just curious, like I know like Tozawa could be ragdolled easy. That'll be entertaining. And like seeing Otis get suplexed by Julius Creed will be fun. But I'm kind of curious how it goes with like Ivy Nile as like a little pit bull. And I don't know if she's joining the group for sure, but that would make sense.
Right.
And her just like kicking ass. So
Yeah.
what do you think, Marlon?
Yeah, the Maxine getting thrown out of the match, not even being able to walk into
That was awesome.
last week or this weekend. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. She's I loved that. And I think the Chad Gable like intensity of him being more stern, more strict, more disciplinarian, or even just like a mean ass dad to this group of juveniles. I love that. When he took off the belt, I was like, I haven't seen this since like the Attitude Era. I don't think when like I think like Vince McMahon got his ass whooped
Well,
with his pants down or something like that,
Ray
right?
Ray whipped Dom at
Yeah.
Ray Whip
Mania.
Dom. That's right. That's right. Which should have been a disqualification. But
Yeah, I
like,
know. Dom's been screwed twice against his dad.
yeah, but I love that whole bit, man. Just the whole dad, like, all right, this is gonna hurt me the more than it hurts you, more than
Yeah,
this is
so
gonna hurt
messed up.
you. Oh yeah, no, I loved it. I like where they're going with this, and Chad Gable could have easily won the Intercontinental Champion 8 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't have had this depth of character.
Hmm.
So I love how they've drawn this out, and he's pretty much blaming the team for his losses. I love
Yeah.
it.
There's on Raw, there's so many freaking good wrestlers that are set up for him to wrestle once he has that belt.
Yeah.
Just think you got Ricochet, Ilya
Mhm.
Dragunov, Braun Breaker. That's like all people that are in that mid card kind of
Mhm.
level that aren't going to be going
Yeah.
for world championships yet.
Mhm.
That's a cool little gauntlet they got over there with those dudes. I don't know who else I can even think of. Those are the
Kaiser.
main. Oh yeah, Kaiser too.
Yeah.
Because I think Kaiser's gonna beat Sheamus next week. So,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
yeah, yeah, man. Pert Gable.
Hurt Cable. They got the "You Suck" chants going on too.
I
Oh yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I love it.
We ready to get into the 3 count?
Yeah. Like and subscribe, y'all, if y'all like what you hear, or if you want to add to the conversation, we want to hear and see it.
Cool. So who wants to go first with the 3 count?
I could go 3 count first, because I think Thomas is gonna kind of touch on it too. Y'all could hear me still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So my question is, are we ready for the Attitude Era to come back in AEW? Right? I know AEW is typically more edgy. They're more
Mhm.
daring. They're doing hell a lot of crazy things in their shows right now. And some of the comments that I've been reading and reactions to what happened in Double or Nothing regarding Darby, regarding Edge, regarding the tampon explosion last week with Malachi.
Oh, that thing was
Like,
sick.
right.
That was a sick
Right.
blood thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's AEW's bloodline right there.
Yeah.
So these things that are happening and the people who are reacting saying, what the hell is this? This isn't wrestling. This is just for shock value. This isn't professional wrestling. My question to you is, have you thought about the Attitude Era lately from WWE? We have people coming out. I just saw highlights from the double buried alive match. What the hell?
Yeah.
That was nuts. We got Stone Cold coming out of the Zamboni. We got a fire hose full of milk or beer shooting people down in the ring. We got a beam falling on a truck or a limo that explodes, like attempted homicides, right? We got a grocery store brawl. We got
Mhm.
Kane being lit on fire. We got Boogeyman eating worms. We got Johnny Knoxville's bag of tricks versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, like where he's getting tased and
I mean, that was like
shot.
recent. People acting
Yeah,
like WWE doesn't do this stuff. And
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Roman
they
eating dog food, right? Roman eating dog food, being handcuffed to a pole. Brock Lesnar lifting up the ring where Roman is like spilling out, and Brock Lesnar attempted homicide when he put the forklift into the SUV of the bloodline. Like,
Yeah.
what what were you trying to do? And we got people saying that AEW is wild. So my question is like, are you really ready for the Attitude Era to come back? Because AEW is already doing it. Darby with the flamethrower. Imagine Stone Cold with the flamethrower 20, 30 years ago. We'd all be like, dude, that was dope. That was
Yeah.
nuts, man. That was a different time. Right? And then
well, yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, finish up. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just putting more examples on AEW, like a barbed wire wrapped ring, steel cage, an Edge barbed wire skewering Malachi, right?
Yeah.
Before he jumps. And then we got Jungle Boy getting lit on fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I'm challenging the people who are saying this isn't professional wrestling to this was professional wrestling a long time ago. But if any other promotion did this now, it would still be cool.
Yeah, if anyone other than AEW did it, they would.
Yep.
If
Yep.
here's my because I feel like it's very disingenuous
Yeah.
when the people say it, because I'm like, in if you're a huge WWE fan and you're like, oh my god, this is insane that they're doing this, I'm like, when were you a WWE fan? Like only the last year? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, because they've done all these things, like um they had like what's his name? Undertaker was walked through fire
Right.
and was like got second degree burns. They had, if you look at AEW, what happened when they lit the guy on fire? Okay, they had a whole team going and looking
Mm-hmm.
at the guy for like 10. I was there for about 5 to 10 minutes, making sure he was okay before he went into like the next spot or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he was covered in flame retardant and stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, the Edge thing, the issue is Edge just jumped off like dumb, kind of. It wasn't like, if you look at, oh, someone jumping off of top of a cage, okay, well, like Undertaker throwing Mankind off is like 5,000 times more dangerous
Yeah.
than what that was.
Yeah.
But also the uh EO doing the moonsault off the top of a cage with the trash can on her head is exponentially more dangerous than Edge jumping off the cage, because he was basically all the barbed wires moved to the bottom of Malachi's legs. He wasn't gonna hit him, but
Mhm.
he just kind of like jumped off weird, and that was kind of an Edge or Adam Copeland thing. So
Mm-hmm.
um I mean, yeah, I could point to I mean, the Fiend was lit on fire what, 3 years ago? Like, it's just
That
all
was
these things. WWE's done all of these things. If you bring up the Edge jumping off thing, I literally just have to go to Survivor Series and be like, EO jumping off with a trash can and trying to have people catch someone with metal on top of their head as they're flipping is way more dangerous than what Adam Copeland was trying to do and messed up.
Right.
So, um, and the fire stuff, as long as you know what you're doing, they had flame retardant gel on him and
Right.
fire extinguishers ready right away. I mean, my
Yeah.
dad's a firefighter. I know how dangerous the stuff actually is, like when you're doing it right.
Yeah.
But these, you know what I mean? Like, same people freaked out when they said the like Tiger Driver '97 from Will Ospreay.
Right.
Oh no, like he actually like almost killed Brian Danielson. I'm like, dude, it's a work. Like
Yeah.
those are like two of the best guys ever. And if you slow
Yeah.
it down and go frame by frame, it looks like Danielson's gonna get spiked on his neck, and then basically like a millisecond before, his body's completely flat and does like essentially a flat back. But they're
Right.
just really good at what they do. So I don't, yeah, I feel like most of it is disingenuous, and if it isn't, then they only must have been fans of WWE for like the last year.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
if you liked it as a kid, you watched way crazier stuff than this,
mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
that was way worse, like examples for things for like kids to watch.
Right.
Just danger wise, the way they treated women wise, just every way it was way worse. So
Yeah. Pierre, what you got? And then I'm gonna close mine out.
So this is kind of because it's this really like this tribalism really between like WWE and AEW. Fans kind of like dogpiling on AEW in a sense. Really,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like the question, or
Yeah.
like kind of your take. Yeah, no. Like I said, man, I totally see that. As someone who doesn't, like I always say, man, I don't get a chance to really watch AEW like I would like to, just because, like I said, just because of time, not because I dislike their product. Um, like when I do tune in, there's always something wild going on. and not wild in a bad way. It's like, yo, like saw highlights and a dude got set on fire. I'm like, what? Why is the dude on fire? You know, like, but that is cool in a way.
Yeah.
Uh, the I guess the last real match I like fully watched was like Sting's last match, and I'm watching Sting go through 2 tables. Like, why is Sting going through 2 tables? But it's Sting, and it's his last match. So in my mind, I get why he's doing that. Like, yo, I'm gonna go out with a bang. You know,
Yeah.
Darby Allin off of a ladder onto what a glass plated, but underneath what is like 6
Oh,
chairs.
that was nuts. Yeah.
Why are you doing that, dude? Like, you don't have to do this. There are some things I'm like, yo, you guys don't have to do this. Like, I'm entertained already. You don't have to go farther. I want you to go home.
Right.
But it ain't like I dislike it. It might not always be my cup of tea, you know, but
Right.
I can respect what goes on over there, you know. Um, I do hate when I hop on social media like IG or whatever, and I see counters. They make it their purpose to discredit AEW. Whether they say
Right.
like there's no one in, or they say how bad the ratings are, or there's just
Yeah.
something they all the negative things about AEW, right?
Right.
And I'm like, it can't be that bad. They still on the air. They
Yeah.
still pay-per-views. You know, like I was driving, I was thinking about it, I never thought about it till recently. It was like all their pay-per-views are like gambling related in a sense. Most of them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a dope concept. They all play off each other. They're not like separate. And I mean, they're separate, but in a way, they're not separate. You know, so I'm like, man, that's cool. That's thoughtful. You know, let's start out.
Yeah.
Second wise, like, yo, I grew up through the Attitude Era. So seeing I Quit matches where the Rockets has a pallet and a forklift and pins Mankind underneath there to make him taste quick.
Mhm.
It's that. Um, you spoke about bra and panty matches. Like, I don't, to my knowledge, they don't do that over in AEW. You know,
No,
the
not at
women
all.
wrestle, you know? Um, and it's almost like for a minute, the wrestling over there on the women's side was might have been better or equal to WWE at the time. Just because I was seeing more variety of women over there when I would tune in, you know, as
Mhm.
opposed to WWE, where you would just have like the same women. Um, I think it's good for wrestling in general to have AEW around.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
I don't think anyone would say like, "Oh man, I wish WCW was never around when WWF or WWE was around," because we wouldn't have had the Monday Night Raw, the Wars. You know, we wouldn't
Yeah.
have each brand, each company trying to push the other company to be better. You know, like during that time, we got DX and we got NWO. You know, two
Yep.
iconic factions during that time period. You know, like so even now, like when you watch WWE and you see people like Daniel Bryan, who was there at the time, Moxley or Dean Ambrose at WWE,
Mhm.
Black, who's now Malachi Black, Edge, Adam Copeland, people that might have been at the end of the run or didn't have an opportunity, or people, and so it's like women wrestlers too, who wouldn't get in the proper tick, can now go over to AEW and be a different person. You know, like Luke Harper, you know,
Mhm.
is a prime example. Like he left, well, he got fired from WWE, went over to AEW and became like a bigger star than he could have ever have been, probably in
Mhm.
the, you
Yeah.
know. So like, it's great to be able to see people that you might be fans of and not get to really see go over to another product and be great. Like I saw something Will Ospreay was talking about Ricochet,
Yep.
and
Yep.
like Ricochet is so limited over here in the E, and maybe if he come over to AEW, like he can really get the proper recognition that he deserves. You
I
know,
think you could for sure.
so like I think I don't have a problem with two brands or with two companies or whatever. Like I like AEW being around. Like I said, I just don't have time to watch it like I want to, but I
Yeah.
follow them on I follow a lot of the other wrestlers from AEW on IG just because I like what they do and they're interesting. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't know it's alone, but like Orange Cassidy, like I don't think a character like that could have been worked in the E, but it is cool to see that character in AEW.
Mhm.
Um, MJF, I don't think MJF character could work over in WWE as is. but it works well in AEW. Just because the things I've seen him say might not be able, he might not be able to do because of standard and practices over in
Yeah.
WWE.
He might not.
You know,
He can't use the exact same language, but I think his character itself would be.
but the language, I
Yeah.
think, helps the character. So
Yeah.
when he's able, I like. It seems that he has the ability to fully express himself. Where
Yeah.
in WWE he might not be able to. So kind of like LA Knight in a sense to me. Where I feel like LA Knight wants to say more, edgy stuff, but he can't. So he kind of gets tripped up at a time. But yeah, that's kind of my take on AEW. Like, man, I'm for it.
Yeah, same here. I appreciate you guys' feedback. I mean, AEW does strive for excellence. I mean, just look at their wrestling, how people in the crowd appreciates their wrestling. And I mean, God, that end of that Tony Storm match was so dope. Her
Yeah, that
finisher.
was nuts.
It was so freaking good. And then again, when she got on the ground to do it again, dude, that was sick. But you know, if you're one of the ones who used to chant ECW or you wear the ECW hats these days and you vibe for the Attitude Era, like I don't think it's fair for people to be dunking on AEW for trying to. I'm not saying they're purposely trying to bring those vibes back, but I think they're awfully close as far as bringing that kind of chicanery back. So that's the end of my my 3 count right there.
Yeah, I mean the difference is like I would say AEW is probably a lot fiscally more responsible than ECW because it sounds like Paul Heyman did not know how to balance a checkbook at all.
Yeah.
But I also don't see the balance sheet for AEW, so I don't know what their stuff looks like, but you have a billionaire running it, so it makes it a little more easier. But kind of to build off of your 3 count, I went to Double or Nothing, so I kind of wanted to talk about my kind of experience there. So I was in the crowd for like being in the crowd for Anarchy in the Arena is like I feel like every wrestling fan should experience that at some point because like I had some of them come like right by me and they're like you mean chopping someone like 5 feet away from me at certain points and stuff. It was nuts, but you're the spectacle of everything. You're kind of like I'm watching over here. My friend's like, oh dude, look, Darby's about to jump off of that thing over there. I'm like, wait, what? And then I just see him cough and drop off something, and then you mean you got the uh you mean Darby getting hit by a bus again, and dude, it was just it was insane. But
How did that even happen?
well, they like edited or shot it so it looks like it, but it was just funny.
Oh,
Like, oh, Darby got hit by a bus for a second time. So
I saw
uh
that.
uh but man, they had probably one of the best opening matches I've ever seen in my life. Osprey versus Marlon's first draft pick, Roderick Strong, was a really good match. Yeah, there were even points where I thought, you mean Roderick Strong was gonna win, even though you're like, there's no way Osprey can lose this, but they kind of had me believe in there. And man, I'll say MJF coming back was nuts, man. Uh, that promo in person is definitely the best promo I've seen live in person. Just the way he had everyone in the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand,
Hmm.
and yeah, I'm just excited he's back. I think it's good for AEW that he's there. For me
Hmm.
personally, I'm a huge MJF fan. I think I'm hoping this contract's like 3 years. I think he would kill it in WWE, personally. Like, it's cool that he could cuss and stuff, but I think he's so good at telling a story in the ring and like, yeah, the cursing is fine, but he could work around that and stuff. I don't. He's also a big enough person they might let him curse once in a while for WWE if they signed him in. I think he would be able to do that. So, and you're allowed to like he could say, you mean the B word as much as he wants. Like that
Mm.
seems. I mean,
That
McAfee said it
McAfee
about
can.
10. Yeah, he said it about 10 times last night. So apparently you could say that as much as you want. So I think he's fine with what he would be able to say, but yeah, both the women's matches, uh, as you said, like Tony's, the finishing of that, I like Serena Deeb a lot, but my favorite match was the Willow versus Mercedes Monet match.
That's like great.
Oh man, that was unreal. That's probably it's definitely my favorite women's match of the year. And it's like in my top probably 3 or 4 matches of the year for sure. But man, they there's like a ferocity in that was more intense than I felt like even the cage match, that like they're using barbed wire, but it just kind of seems, seemed kind of fake a little bit. Like, I mean, it looked like it hurt because they're hitting each other with barbed wire and they're bleeding all over the place. But I just felt like that Mercedes match was they were ruthless. So I was I was just thoroughly impressed. So it was worth going up there. The tickets were crazy expensive, like WWE is. So if you want to see exciting wrestling, I would suggest go if there's an AEW pay-per-view near you, definitely go because you're gonna be entertained and you're gonna get your money's worth for sure. So for that type of ticket at a WWE pay-per-view, I would have had to pay probably $200 more. So for the same view. So just as point of reference. But yeah, I was really impressed. We already kind of talked about the tribalism and stuff, but yeah, man, yeah, you should just actually like try to watch. Maybe if you don't like the bloodier stuff, okay, that's cool. But there's a lot of like other matches you could check out in AEW that if you're actually a fan of wrestling, you'll enjoy. So,
Yes.
but yeah, that's it for me.
Pierre, what do you got for the 3 count?
All right, so for me is I don't know, man. I kind of been noticing this for a while. So especially with social media and seeing different wrestlers interact with each other, and so I kind of just remember. I remember seeing Undertaker one time. It was something. It might have been the last ride, and he had a match with Roman Reigns, and he's like, "Man, you can't just respect kayfabe at all." And so, like, my thing is the significance of kayfabe in today's era. Uh, do you guys feel it is as important as it used to be? Um, do you guys really mind seeing different wrestlers that might be heel or face interacting with each other on social media in like a normal manner, not into like scripted or work type of a way? Um, sometimes I like to just get lost into wrestling, so sometimes it does take me out of that when I do see, oh, Bailey is like in Nia Jax's status or put a picture or whatever, or all of them are just kind of like say interacting with each other. I feel like I might see it more so from the women as opposed to like a lot of the guys doing so, but still, um, I saw like Karrion Cross, and this is him just being himself probably, but he was talking about donating something, showing support for something, raising money. And I'm like, man, this is Karrion Cross, man. Like you're bad. Like be bad. I don't want to donate no money. Be a bad dude right now. But I get it. Like you're not this dude 24/7. Like you are still whatever your real name is. After whatever. So
Yeah.
uh, but no, that's kind of like my question to you guys is like, how do you feel about kayfabe, the lack of or whatever with it nowadays?
Yeah. I'll go. I love kayfabe whenever a character is consistent with it and they can run with it. Like Tony Storm, right? That girl's picture where she was in black and white. Love
That was
that.
so awesome.
Who also was great at that while still being their true selves and their character. I thought Lacey Evans was great at it too. She played that Southern Belle everywhere she went. I'm not talking about the whack Lacey Evans. when she was like all militant, but when she played the Southern Belle, like
Yeah.
she kept that character when she got pulled over for a ticket. Like, so
Well,
I
that probably
thought
helped
that
her
was
get out of
really
a
cool,
ticket though, because that's kind of hot. But
right? So my thing is, I don't mind them breaking kayfabe now because we know as adults who enjoy wrestling and sports entertainment that this typically isn't who they are. Um,
Mhm.
and a part of me lets them know, like, I love that behind the scenes stuff. I'll say it again. I'll say it. Oh, I said it before. I'll say it again. I love behind the scenes stuff. Or if a heel meets a fan, like a young kid fan, and there's some endearment going on. Well, I could also appreciate them being a jerk to the fan. Like MGF, when you go to his signings, he'll take your stuff and throw it on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love it when they do be themselves, when they are themselves, but I also love it. And there's very few, again, that could keep it going in a creative and still a sincere way. So I don't mind them breaking kayfabe at all.
Uh, I don't know. Yeah. So I think I see it more with the women where they're like take pictures with people who are like, you mean they're supposed to be feuding with almost or stuff like
Right.
that. I think the reasoning for that, um, because women's wrestling was such a like looked down on thing and
Mhm.
stuff, I think they do it
Yeah.
as a thing to support each other. So if the guys were doing that, I'd be like, dude, you guys don't have to deal with all the other bull crap that girls have to deal with in wrestling. So
Yeah.
I would be kind of like a bit weirded out if or not completely bothered, but like you know what I mean. It would be kind of weird, but like I get why like you mean the girls will like take pictures in you mean with
It's
each
time to show
other
up.
and stuff,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like be like, oh, you look beautiful and stuff, and it's like okay, like that's just like kind of part of today's culture and stuff. So and what the women's wrestlers had to go through, like I can't imagine what that was like for some of the ones that like you mean Trish Stratus and all them that had to go through that and I mean Becky and all them kind of change wrestling where
Mhm.
they're looked at. I mean there's a lot of beautiful female wrestlers, but they can kick ass too, and like we're watching them to wrestle. We're not just like you mean looking at them as pinup dolls and stuff. So
Yeah.
Right.
but yeah, if you get someone like MJF, Tony Storm, Dijak, that just makes me like them even more when they're like completely
Hmm.
dedicated to the bit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't expect it, but it is awesome if you do see it. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, even though this is silly, but like Tony Khan got like pile drived on his head and then he like shows up to the NFL draft and he's wearing a neck brace and stuff. He was moving his head around like an idiot still, but like the fact that he like went with the bit and was like had the neck brace on still, I appreciate
Oh
that
man.
he at least like went about it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think also the women, some wrestling women won't, like Chelsea Green, for example, and I know there's a few others who do this, they won't market themselves as their character because Chelsea Green, I think it's just like a normal headshot. And then in their profile, they'll say like who they are as a wrestler, or like Liv says, I wrestle once a week on television. So I think they're trying to make themselves more of a 360 character outside of wrestling as
Mhm.
well, and just be like more marketable, maybe towards branding or fitness or something else. So I think for them, because the market is so volatile as far as like their job, um, if they're going to get let go or injured or whatever, I think they want to make themselves more versatile in their abilities.
No, I feel that. No, I didn't figure out what you guys were saying. It's definitely understandable, but yeah. No, like Tom was saying, like I definitely appreciate when I do see characters that are dedicated to it, but I also understand like, yo, you're not that person all the time. You do have a life outside of this. So they say
Yeah.
either way, it's cool with me.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right.
that's it for that part, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the three count.
All right, for the hot button debate. we already mentioned Attitude Era. So one of you is going to have to argue that Attitude Era is better than now, and the other is going to have to argue for today's era. And I'm not
Okay.
talking the Paul Levesque era because that's been technically a month and a half, but I consider it all kind of, you mean, basically since AEW existed and made WWE get better.
Oof.
So
Oof.
post Monopoly WWE. So, or if you want to shorten it, be like since Vince left, I'll accept that too. But yeah. So heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails. It's tails.
Ooh. Your pick, Pierre.
I am going to argue that the current era is better.
You
Okay.
bastard. All right, fine.
All right. Marlon, I'll let you go first since you have or actually, Pierre, you go first. You got the probably easier one a little bit. So,
All right. You want to time me? Maybe like a minute, something like that.
yep,
That's good.
I got you.
That's good.
All right. So the current era is better than the Attitude Era because I feel like we actually get real wrestling this time around. A lot of the matches from the Attitude Era always involve some type of stipulation. So whether or interference. I don't remember too many flat out technical wrestling matches from the Attitude Era. They always involve either ladders, tables, or chairs, or some first blood, buried alive, um, casted match, bra and panties, something crazy. It wasn't just like two dudes going in the middle of the ring, just going back and forth. Another reason why I think the current era is better is that we had one guy have a title reign that was longer than the whole Attitude Era in general. Um, he was able to elevate this business to a different level. We all acknowledge him as the tribal chief, and he's able to get a sports deal, which has kind of been unheard of for wrestling. He's signed to the Jordan brand, so I've never heard any other wrestler having that outside of having merchandise just strictly due through WWE.
All right,
They might
that's a
have like
minute.
some
That's a
something
minute.
else here. Oh, okay.
That's a minute. Marlon, you got a minute. You set the
Okay.
time limit, Pierre. So that's on.
That's cool.
Okay, why was the Attitude Era better than this current era? Well, we got to talk about the 360 wrestler. In the Attitude Era, I believe people were trained by the technical wrestlers and trainers of the Golden Era, and the fundamentals were there, along with being able to cut a promo. I think more wrestlers in the Attitude Era could cut a promo from Crash or Hardcore Holly to the Boogeyman, versus a Julius or Brutus Creed. I mean, I think the promotional, even the women, the divas could cut promos back then. If we're talking about stipulation matches versus clean or regular matches, this was a time of exploration, a mix of ECW plus Vince McMahon's badassery and him just being like, look, we're going to push the limit. We're throwing people off of 30-foot walls, and we're having people fight in an empty stadium during the Super Bowl halftime show. So this was a time of like, we're gonna just try and push, because they were getting rid of the old guard of the Bret Harts and all of that, and they're going into the bloodied up Stone Cold Steve Austin. And how many superstars were born that are now pillars of the business? And you had one person, arguably two,
Time.
save the business. Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right.
Woo! All right, I'll give you guys each 30 seconds each for a rebuttal.
Nice.
Okay. So you spoke about people being able to cut promos from the Attitude Era. But I would still say a lot of those guys couldn't put on 5-star matches from the Attitude Era. One guy that I think you can say that had multiple 5-star matches is John Cena, and he also could cut outstanding promos in the ring. He probably could go toe to toe with anybody from the Attitude Era. He actually did go toe to toe with a guy from the Attitude Era, The Rock, and proved that The Rock needed to have his notes on his arm to do his promos. John Cena did that. And
Time. All right, Marlon, you go.
John Cena was at one time one of the most hated men in the WWE. There has never been a time when people hated anybody whom I could think of from the Attitude Era more than they have John Cena. If it was The Rock, it was still for a short stint. Granted, it may have been justified, that hate, but it was never as long as somebody hated John Cena or even Roman Reigns, if we want to throw some of the modern era people in. So I think that the amount of hate and vitriol towards those people in the PG and ruthless towards and on is more than the people that were in the Attitude Era, even coming back.
Time. All
Oh
right.
man, that was great.
Do I have to pick someone who won?
I don't think so.
No, I think the people in the comments can comment. Yeah, I mean, Marlon, you had to pick random stuff. I don't think the promos were that much better then, to be honest. Like, like the top people were good at promos, but if you're picking like random people on the roster, I don't think like everyone. I don't think Triple H was that great of a promo half of the time. Like, he thought he was a lot funnier than he was, and he was. I don't think he was very funny. So, but there were good promos. You're only remembering the good ones though, because it was a long time ago. So, if you watched a random Raw from the Attitude Era, you just picked an episode, I think you would see a lot of ass promos. I'll tell you that.
I don't know,
Because
man.
I had a random episode come on on Peacock the other day, and I was like, "What is this?" So,
I
but
don't
no,
know.
you had the harder one, I think, though.
I stand by it. Stand by it. But
All
I
right.
do also believe this current era is freaking amazing, and I have my reasons
Yeah.
for that too. But yeah,
But
two
yeah,
different things.
guys. Well, that was your hot button debate. But yeah,
No
that's our
hate, just debate.
no hate, just debate. But yeah, that's our show. You guys don't have anything else, right?
No, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, make sure any moment you saw Marlon's screen glitch, you comment the moment. So
Try
try to
not
get some
to move a lot.
engagement. Might as well get some engagement here with the glitching. So
I got
but yeah,
Fios coming, baby, this Friday.
Every
get that
time
fiber.
Martin Glick put $1 in a draw, and we give it away today.
Then we'd fund the whole charity. We'd fund UNICEF.
I'm part of the Uncle Howdy glitch party.
You are Uncle Howdy. That's how.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. I'll catch you guys later.
AEW. AEW.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.